The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside, and we are live in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. It's a Thursday morning. We got Thursday night football tonight. Jeremy's picks went
mature audiences.
Pretty well last night.
A democratic
My
republic.
headphones are like, there you go.
Yeah.
We're still getting used to this. So all of the things work, but we don't quite know how to use them yet.
It's fine. Nobody heard that. It was just in the headphones. It was, it's all fine.
Yeah, but I felt like
fine.
we would probably need to explain why my face scrunched up for no reason.
Well, this day and age, nobody really questions that. Could be for a number of reasons.
Could be that I feel like Fido's ass.
Aw, poor guy.
Oh, good Lord. You know what? I'm right there with A.J. Brown. No more fast food ever.
Yep.
Except the McRib. The McRib would never do this to me.
All right, today, of course, we're going to get into the quarterback power rankings. All starting quarterbacks in the NFL ranked 32 to number 1. And also Thursday night football coming up tonight. You got pretty much the B team for the Cleveland Browns going up against the Denver Broncos. And are you still on Denver? You still on Denver to win this game?
Stephen Towle said, can't see your scrunched up face black screen. I'm looking at it. I have the live feed pulled up too.
It's right there.
Yeah. I see it. It's right there. My little food poisoning ass is
It's been a rough go.
Yeah.
By the time we finished the afternoon show yesterday, I thought Jeremy was going to die.
Yeah, he actually offered to drive me home.
I did.
Because I
very
was
worried.
oh my God. Let me just give you a piece of advice. If something has sour cream on it and you put it in the refrigerator, throw it the fuck away. Do not heat it up in a microwave. Do not do that. It is a horrible idea, and it will lead to this.
You think that's what it was?
Oh, I know exactly what it was. I know verbatim what it was because I thought it before I did it. Like, oh, I should not do this.
Yeah.
2 days later, I literally slept. I slept last night. I got home at like 5:45.
Mm-hmm.
I brought my wife soup because she's actually legitimately sick. I thought I was for a minute, and let's just say I tested out the things and figured out, no, it is not. I have a A.J. Brown level case of the bubble guts.
Yep. Yeah, by the way, yes, we are. We do have everything hooked up now so we can use these mics instead of using the lapel mics. Let us know how
audio
it sounds.
quality should be way better.
Right.
We can do way more things. Oh, and I can do this.
Whenever you take a notion to, I don't aim to put you out none.
Jeremy's got all the buttons.
All the buttons.
They're
I
running through the
have 5 pages of buttons.
Yeah, do let us know, though. Do let us know if there is a latency problem between the sound and the mouth moving on the video. We think it's pretty spot on.
There shouldn't be, and I'm going to be really honest with you. The cameras will be better as soon as whatever's happening with me stops because I have to lean completely back because if I put any pressure on my stomach whatsoever, you will see something that I never recover from.
Right.
Patrick Holt. I love Patrick Holt so much.
I
And he
used
asked
to.
me what was it that I ate. It was one of two things because I actually did this twice in the same day. I did it with chili once, and I did it with Taco Bell the second time. And
Heating
they
stuff
both
up.
had sour
Yeah.
cream on them. I started to feel a little queasy after the first one. After the second one, it was bayonet hell. And I am sweating like a Turkish hooker anytime I'm not outside with short sleeves and shorts on.
Yeah. I used to love Patrick Holt, but he's the one I'm blaming for the kiss of death on the Red Sox.
So his kiss of death in a comments on a web show doesn't beat yours saying it out loud on an ESPN radio show.
Nope. It was all Patrick Holt. It's not me. I didn't do the kiss of death. Patrick did it first. Not my problem.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Patrick Holt said, ouch, bad combo. You have no idea. Mm-hmm. I have prayed to gods I don't believe in to just kill me. Just end it. It can't be that bad.
Right.
Nothing can be that bad.
Right. Anyway, yeah, last night it was not good as the Boston Red Sox lost again. 2 straight games now at Fenway Park in the American League Championship Series. Trail 3-2, going back to Houston for the last 2 games of the series.
Hey, on the bright
One
side,
if
you didn't give the
necessary.
kiss of death to the Braves.
No, I didn't. They're up 3-1 on the Dodgers. Got a chance to close it out tonight. They got Max Fried going on the mound, and he has been one of the hottest pitchers in Major League Baseball the past couple of days, or the last couple of outings. We'll see if we can have a complete game shutout again from him. That'd be great. We haven't had one of those in a postseason in a long time. I think Greene was talking about that yesterday.
I'm not going to lie. You actually got me to root for your Red Sox.
Yeah.
With one thing.
What's that?
You looked me in the face and said, if the Red Sox play the Braves, I can get to Atlanta. We have connections that could get him tickets. Mm-hmm. And you told me I will leave everything to you for a day. I already had a plan of what the ESPN radio show was going to sound like with me left to my own devices. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, we may not have had a show left by the time you came back.
Well, you can't bury him. You can't bury the Red Sox.
I don't like your chances.
Hey, that's
they
fine.
beat you bloody last night.
And again, that's fine. Remember, we got our asses kicked so many times by the New York Yankees.
Oh, you're about to go 0-4. You're not. It's look.
It's the only team
if there
to
was
do
a
it.
kid born the day that happened, they'd be able to drive a car by now. You're not allowed to use that anymore.
Yeah, we are.
There's nobody left on this team that was on that team. Oh, the magic's in the stadium. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Stop that.
Mm-hmm. You still got so many people that are around that program that were there at the time. So
Yeah, the guy that changes the antiquated scoreboard. That's still the same guy.
You could never bury the Red Sox down 3
I'm
games
still
to 2.
rooting for you. I'm
should
just.
be.
I feel like the Dusty Baker led trash can bangers are they're on a collision course for the Bravos.
Mm-hmm. And you know what changed it?
You.
Eduardo Rodriguez.
I'm still
Told
going with you.
Eduardo Rodriguez, you don't poke the bear. Alex Cora said it at the moment. Don't do that. And then what happened? They lost the 2 games since then.
Oh, ugh.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's talk about quarterbacks.
All right,
I've given you
anyway.
as much baseball platitude as I'm going to.
All right, fair enough. So quarterbacks in this league, we got 32 starting quarterbacks. We will rank them 32 to number 1, the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. Jeremy Greene is who?
I just realized Patrick Holt said, check those ticket prices. It is adorable that you think he would pay that. He wouldn't pay $8. He would use some old favor for the fact he used to work for the Braves.
Yep.
That is the beauty of doing what we do, is that you make some pretty good relationships, and we can get in damn near anywhere.
Did you see the other day that shirt that I was wearing that said Atlanta Braves Radio Network? I know several. I can call up Mark Lemke on a whim and say, hey, buddy, give me some tickets.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you can do that, why have you never done it?
I have.
No. Like to have the limmer on our show.
I mean, I've done it before. I don't think I've ever done it since you've been
Well,
on
it's
the
because we don't talk about
program. 'Cause
baseball.
We don't talk about baseball.
Yeah,
What's the point
you know
of
what
bringing a guy on if you're not going to talk baseball?
Hey, you know what that would give you? Somebody to talk baseball with.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Just throwing it
We
out there.
could throw that into the mix if you want.
All right, quarterback
Anyhow.
power rankings. And these don't have a cute, they're all 32 on the screen.
Yeah.
32 is Davis Mills. And I'll be honest with you, if I didn't have to put one quarterback for every team on this list, that would probably have been Case Keenum. Because he is fucking horrible.
Case Keenum?
No, Davis Mills.
Oh.
Davis Mills is horrid. Mm-hmm. I have seen very few quarterbacks in the history of this league that were as bad as Davis Mills.
I agree.
And I get, he's a rookie and he was a late play rookie, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. He is horrid.
Mm-hmm. Despite that one game against the New England Patriots where he looked decent, he is awful.
Well, I got news for you.
I'm surprised.
A lot of offenses are going to look decent against New England.
I'm surprised that Justin Fields wasn't your 32.
Justin Fields, he's my 31, and I at least see the arm talent.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I feel like with Justin Fields, he's a Maserati being driven by a penguin. Yeah, it'll go 1 billion miles an hour.
Yep.
I don't have any faith that he can corral it. And Chris Sims changed his tune yesterday to, he's light years ahead of Trey Lance. No, he's not. To me, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard somebody say out loud.
Mm-hmm.
They're two completely different quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen one game of Trey Lance.
And it wasn't a good one.
No, it was against the best team in the fucking league.
Right.
That's what you're using as your benchmark? Justin Fields has started 4 games in this league.
Mm-hmm.
His high water mark is 207 yards passing, and I'm not a stat guy.
Mm-hmm.
But good God, some of the worst, unbelievable throws I've ever seen. Bad decisions left and right. He's not good.
No, he's not good, but he's not the worst quarterback in the league, obviously.
No, that goes to the half man, half giraffe, Davis Mills.
I've got 2 more quarterbacks that are ranked lower than Justin Fields on my power ranking, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming up pretty soon on your list.
Yeah,
as well.
they're probably not far away.
They're not. Taylor Heineke's number 30. Yep, that was one. Geno Smith, number 29. Yep, he's one too. I had Justin Fields ranked ahead of both of those guys. There is a reason. There is a reason that the Seattle Seahawks just made a pickup at quarterback. Jacob Eason.
No, that's because it's a young quarterback. Somebody was going to pick him up.
Mm-hmm. You don't think it had anything to do with the fact that Geno Smith is just not good?
No. Geno Smith will be the quarterback of this team until Russ comes back.
Mm-hmm.
He gives them the best shot to win.
Mm-hmm.
If you think it was bad with Geno, trot Jacob Eason out there.
Right.
Geno Smith is not a horrid NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He's not good. But he's better than somebody that the Colts looked at and went, no,
Oh, I get it. I'm not saying Jacob Eason's better, but I am saying that there's a reason. You already had a quarterback on your team. You already had a backup in Jake Luton.
He's not good at football. That's a great miss from me. I watched him in college and went, hey, that guy could be a player in the league.
Right.
No, he couldn't.
Taylor Heineke, though, he has earned every bit of disgust.
He just doesn't do anything well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least with Justin, and I'll be honest with you, I considered having Heineke behind Justin Fields because at least Fields does something well.
Mm-hmm.
He does have an incredible arm.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went back and watched every time he's used that arm and realized that he's been closer to the sideline than he's been to any receiver damn near every time he's used it.
Right. He's just not good. They are praying and hoping that Ryan Fitzpatrick can come back at some point here real soon and take the load off of Taylor Heineke because, it was cute for the first start that you saw in the playoffs last year, but now that you've seen him week after week, he can't be the answer.
No. Somehow Chris Collinsworth was the only person that didn't realize how important Russell Wilson was to this team, in spite of the fact that people like me have been saying it for years.
Right.
If something, I said it the week before he got hurt. If something ever happened to Russell Wilson, this would be one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL. And they are.
5th worst quarterback in the league?
It's my quarterback.
Your boy.
It's my quarterback.
Zack Wilson.
The only reason he's where he is because of one game against the Tennessee Titans, where they had virtually no one.
Mm-hmm.
But I have seen him do it. I'll be honest with you. If I had seen 5 games of Zack Wilson, the level of what he did against the Titans, he'd be in the top 15.
Okay.
Because that's how good he was for one game.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps you out of the cellar.
The problem is he's not, and he leads the league in interceptions.
The other 4 have been fucking awful.
Right.
I mean, there's not a lot to look. And I'll be honest with you, I blame a lot of that on Mike LaFleur. As somebody that's watched every snap of Jets football this year,
Mm-hmm.
it tells you a lot when a team comes out and never scores on the opening drive. Those 15 scripted plays, you never score. What does that tell you? That tells you their defensive script is better than your offensive script every week. Even the good game against the Titans, they didn't score on the opening drive.
Mm-hmm.
They have not one touchdown in the first half all year long. I put that on LaFleur. And I'll be honest with you, I put it on Rob Salah. I think you hired a guy based on the fact that you're friends. But you needed that Wade Phillips to run your offense. And I know Wade Phillips is a defensive guy. I mean, you needed that veteran, old school, been a coach in the league guy on this staff, and you don't have him.
Yeah.
I think that's what Greg Knapp was meant to be before the unfortunate accident that cost him his life.
Yeah. But the thing is, this Zack Wilson thing, sure, he's number 28 now, but at least there's hope.
Oh, yeah.
With these other quarterbacks, there is no hope. There is no hope that any of these guys will turn into great quarterbacks. The only one in that group, I would say, is Justin Fields, and I don't know how much he can turn around.
The problem with Fields is you got to change the way you think, and I very rarely ever see people do that.
Mm-hmm.
Zack Wilson, you've just got to make your feet, your hands, and your brain link up at the same time, which he just doesn't do very often.
Mm-hmm.
You at least understand with him what you were trying to do.
Right.
Do you underthrow more balls than I would like you to? Yes. Do you throw off balance more than I would like you to? Yes. But I still see the talent.
Mm-hmm.
Zack Wilson's still a very talented player. And I wanted to have him in front of a couple people that are in front of him here, but I just can't.
You just couldn't do it. Zack Wilson at number 28. Number 27, Daniel Jones.
Hey, you know all those things I just said about Zack Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
Put a red and blue logo on it and lather, rinse, repeat.
But have you seen the good
Yes.
in Daniel Jones?
Yes. Daniel Jones has put some impressive tape up over the course of a few years starting for the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he's thrown up some that is just absolutely fucking dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the good. The problem is I see the good about 1 out of every 6 games. He's good for 3 or 4 really good games a year.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, he is just dreadful.
Sorry, give me a second here. I'm trying to pull up a computer that actually works.
Indeed. Well, I mean, looking at the back of your head is fantastic.
I know, but I'm trying to pull my notes up here because the computer that is attached to the station internet has gone down.
Oh, why am I shocked? That's why all my shit's wireless and I can just move seamlessly.
But thankfully, we have a dedicated line now where I can pull that up on my computer.
That's why all my shit's wireless and I can just sit back here in my bubble guts, god awful delirium.
Well,
I'm already starting to get shiny. We're only 20 minutes into this and I'm already getting shiny.
Right. I was trying to find a definitive answer. Somebody asked in the comments, do we know when Ryan Fitzpatrick is coming back?
2 to 4 weeks.
2 to 4 weeks was the last thing you heard?
That's the last I heard, yeah.
Okay. I knew he was getting close, but I wasn't sure when.
Jason Trump asked, where's the crying baby overlay? I can bring that back.
The crying baby. Oh.
The one I used to put over your face.
Right. I had forgotten all about the crying baby overlay.
Yeah, and it's still in my my file.
Still in your file. Okay, you got Daniel Jones at number 27. Tua Tagovailoa was my 27. I've got Daniel Jones ranked just ahead of him.
I don't. I have Tua at 21.
Ooh, that seems a little high to me.
But is it though?
What good have you seen?
Oh, I've seen some good. I've seen more good from Tua Tagovailoa than I've seen from Mac Jones or Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I give Daniel Jones a little bit more credit for what he can do with his legs, even though he trips on the turf. He will never live that play down for me.
The only problem with Tua Tagovailoa is that his front office keeps calling Houston and just asking,
how much you want for him?
And the latest reports are that all of those rumors that Tua is part of the deal for Deshaun Watson is false.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, it's not. Tua's going to wind up on another team because Houston has no desire to have Tua Tagovailoa. I've heard that forever.
Right, but that's what I was saying. The fact that
Three-way
he's going
deal.
to be in this deal.
He will be in this deal, just not going to Houston.
Somewhere else.
The Washington football team. I can tell you exactly where it is. That's how this deal is going to be sculpted, and anybody that's telling you this is false, cool, they're fucking liars. Miami has called on this repeatedly. It's never stopped.
I think it's hilarious that the Houston Chronicle reporters are at odds with each other.
I'll take John McClain's side on that 100 times out of 100.
Right. You got John McClain out here saying that it's close and it's going to happen, and then you got another one that says, no, that's never going to happen. From the same paper.
Mm-hmm. And that's all well and good. John McClain's been around as long as I've been alive.
Oh, there's no doubt. He's got way more connections within the organization than the new guy does. New guy. The new guy that I've heard of. I have no idea how long he's been around.
Yeah, John McClain has better connections than anybody in the NFL that comes out of Houston.
Right.
He's well respected. He's well liked. If John McClain says this is close, and I'll be honest with you, I'm hearing the same thing. That Miami is in disaster mode after losing to Jacksonville. Something's going to happen one way or the other, whether it's Deshaun Watson, whether it's firing Brian Flores, something's happening. And I said this yesterday on the ESPN show when this broke. You know what this does? Buys Chris Greer time. Because if they'll let him make this move, you got to let it play out. Next year will be next year's problem. We have to be good right now.
Yep.
And that's what Deshaun Watson does.
All right, at number 26 on the Week 7 quarterback power rankings is Jared Garf.
Jared Garf. I feel like he's getting a lot of flack for things that are not really his fault.
Okay.
That team just has a massive talent deficiency. All right, so the Hellhounds come at the door. Who's he looking to? Who's his bailout?
T.J. Hawkinson.
That's it. DeAndre Swift out of the backfield.
Yep.
There's not a high-level one-on-one receiver that can beat a matchup, and he knows it. And what does that lead to? You hold on to the ball too long, and you fumble it. That's what he's getting killed for. I'll be honest with you, I wanted to have Jared Goff higher.
I do.
Because I would rather have him than Jalen Hurts or Mac Jones or Baker Mayfield. The problem is, he's stuck in Detroit, and I don't think that's going to get better anytime soon.
Yeah, I have him much higher because the way I looked at it was if I had a team right now and I wanted to play, I had to choose from any of these quarterbacks and you needed to win a game, he's middle of the pack for me.
He's not middle of the pack for me because I would rather have Teddy Bridgewater or Sam Darnold or Jameis Winston. Ben Roethlisberger's got the experience.
I have him ahead of many of those guys that you
and
just
that's
said.
fine. I just disagree with you.
Right.
He's another one that has there are moments that you look at him and go, oh, that's not bad. Then he has others where you're like, Jesus Christ, are you out of your fucking mind?
Right. And I still feel like he has a lot of talent. He just doesn't, like you said, have much to work with in Detroit.
He doesn't.
And if he had stars like he did when he was in L.A., I still feel like he could be really good. Really good is stretching it. But at least serviceable, like I said, middle of the pack. So he is markedly higher on my list than he is on yours, but I understand why you have him where you have him. Number 25.
Number 25. Boop. Jalen Hurts. I wanted him lower, but I couldn't. Because he does still have the ability, when all else fails, he can still run. At the end of the day, he can still run the football.
Yep.
I don't believe in his arm at all. But he does have that bailout that not a lot of other quarterbacks do, like number 24, Mac Jones.
I got Mac Jones at number 26.
Here's the problem with Mac Jones. I think he's going to be between 21 and 25 for the rest of his career. I don't think he has a high side.
Right.
You are what you are.
Right.
And I made this comparison yesterday, and now I can't stop doing it. He reminds me of Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Everybody's losing their shit about Kenny Pickett right now. He's a 24-year-old quarterback playing with children. His body is more physically mature. Does it not strike you as strange that all of a sudden, in his super senior year, now all of a sudden he looks like that guy? Of course he does. He's light years ahead of half the guys he's playing against.
Right.
Now, Mac Jones, I don't feel like it's that. I feel like he was coached better and harder and had to work harder to get on the field at Alabama. Problem is he's got physical limitations for days.
He's always going to be a high completion guy. He's completing like 70% of his passes, but there's no flash. There's no superstar big boy throws, that are like, oh, look at that. I mean, he had those at Alabama, but again,
look at who he's throwing
to. We've talked about the talent that was around him and the level of separation that those receivers had. It's pretty easy when you're a high-level quarterback like that to throw to a guy that's got a cushion of 6 to 10 yards every play, like he did with Devontae Smith.
Jason Trump asked, is Tua any better than Josh Rosen? Yes. Josh Rosen is a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a D-bag. Anytime every person that interacts with somebody says, he's a douche, he's probably a douche.
Right.
By the way, I've always heard that about Cam Newton, too.
That he's a douche?
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
Yeah.
Who didn't know that? If you've seen one episode of his podcast, of course he's a douche.
Oh, that's the nice side. Yeah. I've heard it's markedly worse than that.
Oh no, yeah, I'm a guy that can that reads between the lines.
Armchair said, "Why can't you just let me feel hopeful for one season?" Are you still feeling hopeful at 2-4? Really?
With the Patriots?
Yeah.
No, you can't feel hopeful.
No, you got your 20 years with Tommy Ugg boots. Okay, now you get to see what the rest of us live like.
Right.
Oh yeah, we drafted a new quarterback, and oh no, we suck again.
Mm-hmm. You should have followed your quarterback. Fire them cannons.
I'm not doing it.
What?
I'm not hitting that stupid button.
I got it on mine.
Oh, this is bullshit. Now you have buttons too. That's horse shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I got buttons as well.
Well, Buck.
Up to number 24. This is where I have Jalen Hurts on my list. I've got Jalen Hurts at 24. Daniel Jones is my 25. Mac Jones is my 26. So we're both in lockstep of the area
who the players are.
Right, of the area that these guys need to be. Number 24 for you is Mac Jones. Baker Mayfield at 23.
I'm going to say that, and this was really the impetus of us doing this, is that I said on Monday, after Baker got hurt, they will be better with Case Keenum.
Yes.
They will be better with Case Keenum. Case Keenum is a veteran guy. Then I pulled up stats. I did all the things. They're the same player.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same player. One of them has a bunch of commercials and a wife that talks too much on Twitter. Pat Mahomes has the same thing.
The difference here, the attitude.
Yep.
The difference is the attitude. Case Keenum doesn't come in with that big-ass chip on his shoulder thinking that he is the guy, thinking that he has to make every big play. I think this is why it worked with him in Minnesota before Kirk Cousins came around, was that he was just the guy that went out and, did his business and got done with it. He was like number 2 in the league, I believe, in QBR that season that he started for the Minnesota Vikings. He's just terribly efficient, goes out and gets the job done, and I honestly believe that's the one thing that Baker Mayfield has been missing. The Cleveland Browns have been that team since Baker Mayfield took over, that your quarterback is going to be the guy that keeps you in games. He's going to do enough to keep you there competitive at the end of the game, but he's probably going to make that decision that costs you the ball game. He's going to make that late interception, dumbass fumble, something. I don't think Case Keenum is that guy. He's just not the risk taker, and he doesn't come with the attitude problem.
The problem is that for this first game, he's got me playing running back. Dearness Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of faith in that.
I don't know that. I don't know that that's really going to hurt him all that much.
It sure as hell ain't going to help.
No, it's not going to help, because you would have been able to move the ball with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt against the Denver front. However, that wasn't ever going to be the focus of your game, because the Denver front is so good. Now they're going to try to pick them. Now they're going to try to pick them apart, and hey, they might be able to get it done. Donovan Peoples-Jones has come around to look like a legitimate receiver, and Jarvis Landry's coming back tonight.
Jonathan Welch said we need Dave Chappelle doing Little John. I don't have that, but I do have this.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
I didn't have that until you said it. But now I can do all of those things.
Hey, now all you got to do is just make a request. Give us a request for a soundbite and we'll put it in.
I'm full on Casey Kasem. This long-distance dedication comes from Merle.
Right.
Merle writes. I'm too stopped up. Just all of the things.
Baker Mayfield is my 22. My 23.
And I don't think you can have him any higher than that.
No.
I think if you have him higher than that, you're being disingenuous.
Right. My 23 was Ben Roethlisberger, who ends up being your number 22, correct?
Correct.
He just doesn't have it anymore. I mean, we've seen little pieces here and there of he's still got some arm talent, but he's hampered by age, and it comes and goes. And the weird thing is how it comes and goes during games. Last year, we saw the arm fall off because he threw it 1 billion times. And after, week 11, they lost 6 out of 7 or whatever that stat was. This year so far, what we've seen is it comes and goes during the games. And I think that's what limits the ability or limits the potential for this Steelers team in 2021.
Ben's high side's just lower than the vast majority of people. He's still got the arm, but he's gotten very old very quickly. He's very brittle, and there's not much to him. I mean, at this point, you don't really have to honor much deep because he's so slow.
Right.
Oh, he's got the arm, and I heard Chris Collinsworth say this Sunday night. Oh, if you were doubting the deep ball arm, the only problem is he had to wind up from the ground to get it that far. He moves like the Tin Man. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying it takes him forever to do it.
Right.
And so that's just not something that you're scared of.
Right. And he's been on the run a lot because his offensive line is not good.
But I will say this. I've heard a lot of talk about the quarterbacks that will be available this offseason. Because I firmly believe Russell Wilson's going to tire of Seattle very quick. I think Russ sitting there, if you saw him at the coin flip going into overtime, he looked like he wanted to be any motherfucking where else.
Yeah.
Because he's looking around going, I have nothing here. It's all on me.
Yep.
And between him and Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, there are places, that's 3 high-level quarterbacks, you're not going to get anything out of the draft. It's Sam Howell or bust. Because I don't have another first-round grade on a quarterback. Speaking of which, we will either have Sam Howell on this show Friday or Monday. I don't know which one.
Right.
He will be on this show one of those 2 days. Patrick Holt, please, if you see this, please message me and help me figure out this OBS thing because I cannot, for the life of me, figure it out.
We're going to need your help, brother. And it's always greatly appreciated.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all of you that offer your services, and we appreciate that more than you know.
Ben Roethlisberger, number 22 on the list. Number 21, this is where you have Tua Tagovailoa.
Yep.
I can't trust him.
I can't trust. There's a little bit of projection with Tua. I feel like Tua is one of those quarterbacks that needs a change of scenery. And I'll be honest with you. Let's say the trade rumor is true, and he winds up with the Washington football team. Do you not like him better there? With Terry McLaurin, with Antonio Gibson back behind him. Do you not feel like a lot of pressure has been put on him in Miami, and he's kind of crumbled underneath it?
No doubt.
That's a lot of how he ended up here for me.
Yeah. To me, one of the big things that you need to give a young quarterback is a running game.
And he has none.
And he doesn't have one in Miami. And
there's not a running back on that team that could run a greasy peg up a cat's ass.
Right. We heard in the offseason where they were going to go after Aaron Jones. They were going to make the big offer to Aaron Jones. Well, he ends up staying with the Green Bay Packers, and then they just went, okay, well, no Aaron Jones. We're just not going to do anything. To me, that was never the solution. It was a bad idea from the beginning. And they're seeing why it was necessary for them to make a move.
Yep.
But they went out and got Malcolm Brown.
But, I mean, to me, he's another quarterback that has physical limitations. I don't think he'll ever be better than this. There's a great likelihood he will fall. But there are still things to like about with him. He still can make high-level throws.
Right.
Just everything needs to work for him, and that concerns me a little bit.
Again, Tua Tagovailoa was my 27 in the power rankings. You got number 20, Jameis Winston. I got Jameis Winston higher than this because I still feel like there's really good in him.
There's also really bad.
Yeah.
I don't see how you have him above any of the 19 I've got in front of him. I would need it explained very slowly.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Who do I have who do I have behind him? I have Teddy Bridgewater behind him.
Teddy Bridgewater is just consistent. I know what he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the damnedest of a clue what Jameis Winston is going to be on a daily basis.
The question with Jameis is, what does he look like when he turns it loose?
We've seen that. Look, I'm going to level with how I wound up here with Jameis Winston.
Okay.
If he had that high side and it could be corralled, it would have already been let loose. We value Sean
Even
Payton.
with those receivers?
I don't care. How many good quarterbacks have Dan Marino never had better receivers than Jameis Winston has right now. If he was that good, it would have been turned loose.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Name them. I watched him for 2 years.
I was going to say, but he was still better than
Mark
Callaway.
Mark Clayton and Mark Duper. That's it.
Yeah.
Name me. Do you realize that was the first 2 years of his career?
Hell,
He played for 16 more seasons.
I think I'd take O.J. McDuffie over.
You'd be wrong,
Marquez Callaway.
You'd be wrong. That's especially when he played with him. Hell, he was 1 billion years old. Or Irving Fryer. That's the best Marino ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have the quarterback throwing the least amount in the NFL. What does that tell you? That quarterback whisperer Sean Payton's going, I can't corral it.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot corral that poor decision-making in Jameis Winston. Does he have the arm? Absolutely. But it has to be completely in the box.
Right.
And that's what makes me nervous with Jameis. I think the days of seeing that high side of Jameis Winston is done.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have that big arm, and you'll see him make big throws.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think he is mainly what you're seeing right now.
I think when the wide receiver core gets healthier, we'll start to see more of his capabilities. I think the lack of talent that they have right now is part of the reason that they haven't turned him loose.
By the way, I'm seeing all of your comments. I just can't really respond to them because I have to lean up.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, I don't think you ever recover from bad things like that happening on camera. I mean, if you yammer on camera, you're the I yammered on camera guy forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just who you are. So I'm saying Anthony Hurd had a really funny one that cat might like that greasy peg. Okay, that's really funny. And I would love to respond to you, but at this very moment, I can't. Havoc 69-27, I don't think Jameis has it, but he might get better later in the season.
Bingo.
I agree with you. Problem is, I think his better is still going to be inconsistent, and I don't like it better than Darnold or Bridgewater or any of those guys.
Mm-hmm. I do like him better than Teddy Bridgewater. At this point, I trust him more than I trust Trevor Lawrence.
I disagree with you. Trevor Lawrence has gotten better 6 games in a row with absolutely nothing going for him.
Mm-hmm.
His best receiver is 97-year-old Marvin Jones. But we still got one in between them.
We still got one in between them.
Sam.
Sam Darnold, number 19. I have Sam above Jameis.
And I think you should.
If right now I had to make the call, I want Sam Darnold. I want Sam Darnold more than I do Jameis Winston. I think there is a huge thing to Christian McCaffrey being gone. We have seen the difference between the good and the bad. And when he has nobody to lean on in the running game, despite the fact that Chuba Hubbard has had 100-yard games. Game, excuse me.
And it was exactly 100.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, a drop's become an official stat on Tuesdays. Who's number 1 in the NFL in drops?
DJ Moore.
He's number 2.
Robbie Anderson.
Chuba Hubbard's also in the top 10.
Yikes.
The Carolina Panthers have 3 of the top 10 in drops. Chuba Hubbard has 3. DJ Moore, I think, has 5. And Robbie Anderson has 6.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's 6 and 7. I can't remember which one. I saw that and went, and yet you're still blaming it on Sam.
Right.
Really? Okay. Look, I mean, whatever. It's fine. I just think you're going to see a very high there's a stretch for the Panthers after McCaffrey comes back and before that god-awful 4-game stretch to end the season kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're really going to see a high side of Darnold.
Yep. And we've seen his rushing kind of take a step back as well, which I haven't really understood that, and maybe that's part of the Panther fans' criticism of Joe Brady, is that we saw a lot of that in the first couple of games that Christian McCaffrey was gone, but you haven't really seen it since.
Well, you have to have the hellhounds at the door for the quarterback to have the ability, because what you need is the edge rushers to come past and him to step up in the pocket and take off. Well, when you have Chuba Hubbard, you don't really have a fear of that. You also need a running back that can block.
Right.
Alexander asked a great question. Do you think Darnold would be struggling like this if they had kept Mike Davis? No, I don't. Mike Davis could block at a high level. Mike Davis could do a lot of things at a high level. Chuba Hubbard can't. I put a lot of this on Chuba.
All right, who's ahead of Sam Darnold? Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor has improved every game. And I think he's going to continue to. I've seen much of what I expected to see from Trevor Lawrence. Do you remember him as a freshman at Clemson?
Yep. There were a whole lot of interceptions. There were a whole lot of questions of, is this
decision
really the
making?
guy? Right.
There was a lot of questions of decision making. And what happened? It improved every week. I remember there was a game against Syracuse where I swear to you, or not Syracuse, there was a game against Louisville where I, honest to God, thought he was trying to throw it to the safeties because they were playing 3 high safety, and every time he threw a pass beyond 15 yards, he was hitting a safety in the numbers. I thought the same thing early with Jacksonville.
Yep.
I saw enough against Miami, and I've seen enough in other games to go, that's the guy.
Yep.
You have the guy. He's going to take some time, and he needs more weapons, and he needs a competent offensive scheme, but he's the guy.
I'm not trying to slight him and his talent and his ability to come around. This is, for me, this was a ranking of right now. Right now, if I had to take a guy, I'm fading Trevor Lawrence a little bit more than anybody else because the decision-making hasn't quite come around yet. We've seen him already throw 8 interceptions this year. That's only one off of the league worst pace by Zack Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck did the exact same thing. You know why? Because they're given the whole offense. None of that worries me. You know how you learn this shit? By doing it. And he has learned in 6 games, he looks like a markedly different quarterback.
Yep.
He looked like a different player against the Miami Dolphins. And I understand they're missing players. I don't give a shit. All right, he's still throwing at a former first-round pick and Noah Igbinoghene. So I've seen enough in Trevor Lawrence that I trust him infinitely. The only problem is that his bad is still markedly worse than Teddy Bridgewater, who I have at 17.
Teddy Bridgewater at 17.
Teddy Bridgewater, the thing about him is that his high and his low is about that far apart. The worst of Teddy Bridgewater is 4 QBR points behind the best.
Right. He is what he is.
I know what I'm getting.
And we're getting another Mac Jones, Teddy Bridgewater. I don't see them too far apart.
I do, because the high side of that static level of Teddy Bridgewater is just higher. Plus, he's been in the league longer.
Right.
Could I? Now, I'll be honest with you. I like how you said that. Could I see the high side of Mac Jones being Teddy Bridgewater 3 years from now? Yes. Yes, I could. I could see that being what he is.
Which will be a backup who bounces around the league and might get a shot every now and then.
But see, in New England, I think you can do that with McDaniels. And here's what they never wanted to admit to you. Tom was a way better version of what they wanted. They never expected Tom to be that good. They wanted the credit. That's what Bill always wanted, was somebody to go, I'm the one that did this. That's why they butted heads so much at the end, because everybody credited Tom. And Bill went, well, what about me? Well, here's the thing. 2 years, we've seen that it really wasn't you. So, but yeah, I could see Mac Jones being Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, the best thing about Teddy Bridgewater is the fact that he is able to identify the open receiver and get him the ball in stride.
Teddy's just so damn accurate. I mean, that's always been the thing about him, is that you have to corral him and not ask him to do too much. I felt like Joe Brady asked him to do too much. You know, I have that problem with Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur's keeping it in the box. All I need you to do is get the ball to Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, on and on down the line.
Yep.
That's it. And as long as that's the case, I think Teddy Bridgewater at 17 that's about right. He's a league average quarterback.
All right, number 16.
This is where I think I'm going to get some pushback. The next 2.
Okay.
Carson Wentz at 16, Jimmy Garoppolo at 15.
We're not far off. I have both of these quarterbacks in the same area. However, I do have them. I've got Jimmy Garoppolo at 18, and I really don't care. I put Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance in the same category because I feel like if Trey Lance were the guy and he had to be the starter, that it's not going to be far removed from what Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, it's just going to look different.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Jimmy Garoppolo is that stats are never going to jump off the page to you. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. He's not going to beat you very often. And let's be really honest. This is how this whole show came to be. Is he and I started talking about this, and I went, just wait. Just wait when you do, because I had already done it when I asked you this.
Yep.
So he starts doing his list, and I started calling my shot on where certain people were, and I went, there's no way for him to not be.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way for him to not be. Kelvin Joyner said I'd take Teddy Bridgewater over both of them. Here's the thing. The high side of those two is better than the high side of Teddy Bridgewater.
No doubt.
Jimmy Garoppolo made it to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz would have been an MVP had he not blown his knee out.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen that out of Teddy Bridgewater. And that's just the way it is. On a, if I didn't know what version I was getting, is there a possibility where I would say, you know what, I just know what Teddy is?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But I've got to win a game, and I know Teddy's not going to be enough. I'd rather have Garoppolo or Wentz.
Yep.
Josh Pennick said I would flip Jimmy G and Wentz. I could get down with that. To me, there is a chasm from 14 to 15. There is a huge jump from 14 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another pretty marked jump, in my opinion, from 10 to 11.
Right. There's another huge jump coming on this list.
Yeah.
With Carson Wentz, though, we kind of poked fun the other day at the Frank Reich, "This is the same guy that I knew in Philadelphia" quote. I don't know that he's wrong.
I don't either.
I mean, when you look at it, he has been doing much better this year than he had the last 2 years in Philadelphia.
Well, he has markedly better weapons. Right. He has a markedly better offensive line.
Right.
And he's got the best running back he's ever played with.
And he's taking care of the ball.
This is what nobody wants to say. Carson Wentz and Jimmy Garoppolo are products of what are put around them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to win games for you.
Mm-hmm.
They're also not going to lose games for you. And if you give them the talent and the weapons, they can be that guy.
I don't know. I just think I think it does say a lot about Carson Wentz, the fact that he is, 5 games into the season because he missed one, and he's only thrown 1 interception, and he's had 2 fumbles. That's way better than what he's been doing.
Here's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 players in this league that I value to be the exact same player in terms of sheer talent. Jimmy Garoppolo, Carson Wentz, and Baker Mayfield. The problem is that with the unbelievable talent, I've seen Wentz in a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, it was Nick Foles because he got hurt, but he was still the MVP going into Week 15.
He's the guy that got him there.
Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl with great talent. I've seen Baker Mayfield win 1 playoff game with probably better talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Going up against a shitty quarterback.
These two can take great talent to great heights. Now, if you put bad talent around them, they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz was bad in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
So was the talent around him. If you put Jimmy Garoppolo with the Jacksonville Jaguars, he would look a lot like Davis Mills.
Yep.
It's just the way it is. That's why there's a chasm between these two and number 14.
Matt Ryan.
Matty Ryan.
Old Matty Ice, he is getting older, but he can still sling the ball.
He can still sling it. He still has a high-level arm.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. He's the only vaguely good quarterback on a bad team. He kind of breaks the mythology that good quarterbacks are never on bad teams because this team's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But the defense is so bad. But you look at Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley has been, minus the first few games of this year, has been better than I thought he could be in the NFL. I thought he was a high side of Jerry Jeudy. That's it. I never thought he would be an elite receiver in this league.
Right.
He is. He is.
Yep.
And a lot of that's because of Matt Ryan.
Yep. And we will see him back on the field this week.
Yes.
For the Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley. Hopefully things have, the personal issues for Calvin Ridley, whatever reason he had for not making that trip to London, I hope all of that is sorted away and he can get back to being a legitimate number one because I believe that's what he can be in this league.
And if you're in fantasy, if you play fantasy football and Matt Ryan is available, and whoever owns Calvin Ridley is willing to move them, you should be asking one simple question:
How much you want for 'em?
Because I'd love to have them both.
Yep, he's definitely a play this week.
Oh,
Matt
absolutely.
Ryan, streaming play of the week.
I would
Up
agree
against the
with that.
Miami Dolphins?
I would agree with
Hell yes. With them coming off the trip, with all of the circulating rumors about Tua's not going to be there anymore, I think Matt Ryan could be in a crush spot right now because he's not the only one that there are trade rumors about. There are a lot of trade rumors about that secondary and how bad that defense is. Hey, guess what? That's the one thing Atlanta does really, really well is pass the ball. So no doubt he is a play for me this week. He's your 14. That's where I had Carson Wentz on my list. Number 13 for me. You baffled me when we did the list. I completed my list, and he looked at me and he said, "You got three quarterbacks that are all in the same order, and I'll guarantee you that they're at 11, 12, and 13."
I said, who are your 11, 12, and 13?
Right.
And why are they Derek Carr, Joe Burrow, and Kirk Cousins?
Right. And I looked at the list and I went, holy cow, that's not the order that I have them in, but I have them all in that same spot. However, I have them a spot higher because here's the thing. I'm starting to believe that the loss of his offensive coordinator has really hurt Ryan Tannehill. I thought about it for a second, and I thought maybe I could put him in the top 10, but I don't. I have him below those three.
I don't.
My 13 is Ryan Tannehill, and we could talk about him in just a second when he comes up at number 10. But I believe that those other three are in front of him. Kirk Cousins, to me, he needs to be at the top of this list. The top of this trio of Derek Carr, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins. Cousins, to me, is at the top of the list because his good is really fucking good.
For me, the worst of this bunch is Kirk Cousins.
Okay, explain. Why is he the worst of the three?
Quite simply because he's been fantastic this year.
Yep.
They're still a mediocre team. Even him being the best he can be, they're still mediocre.
Mm-hmm. What did you break?
I didn't break anything.
Okay.
I dropped something.
Oh, he dropped his phone.
I did. It was sitting in my lap.
And he can't be without his phone. He cannot be without his phone.
Oh, because this is where all the important shit comes from. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't break it because in this gigantic chair, it fell about 14 feet.
To me, Kirk Cousins is the best of these three. I hated to do it, but I guess because he's the youngest of the three, I had Joe Burrow at this spot.
See, and to me, Burrow was the hardest one to rank because I actually think he's better than Derek Carr. He just hadn't proven it yet.
I'll agree with that.
If this was all projection, I would have Burrow ahead of him.
Oh God!
But to me, what you've done does matter.
Oh God! If it was all projection, I would have him easily in the top 10.
Evan Doyle said, "I can't imagine a scenario where I would take Kirk Cousins over Joe Burrow." That's exactly why I have him ranked this way. Rob Johnson said, "I'd rather have Kirk Cousins than Ryan Tannehill." Here's what nobody wants to, and now we're just going to lump all four of these in together.
Yep.
Here's what nobody wants to say about Ryan Tannehill. A lot of people believe Derrick Henry made Ryan Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Ryan Tannehill made Derrick Henry.
Okay. Because Derrick Henry didn't have the big breakout until Ryan Tannehill got here or got to Tennessee from Miami.
And there's one very simple reason why. He's the best play-action passing quarterback in the NFL, and it's not even debatable.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it's not even debatable. He beats the rest of the league by so much that you don't even have a leg to stand on if you wanted to argue it with me.
Do you have a stat to back that up?
I have the Pro Football Focus stat over the course of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get to it, so you're going to have to give me a minute.
Okay, I didn't know if you had that on the top of your head, like completion percentage on play-action passes or something to that effect.
No, I'm not going to have anything like that, but
Right.
QBR and play-action passes.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Pro Football Focus grade right now, Ryan Tannehill's top 5 in the league. Just throwing that out there. Joe Burrow's 6 and Derek Carr's tied for 7th with Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Just putting that out there. You do with that what you want to. I'm going to put this out there. You do with it what you want to. He wants to be on you.
Yep. I don't want him on me. To me, Ryan Tannehill is he has taken a step back.
He hasn't.
He hasn't?
He hasn't. You know how he took a step back? Because he spent a whole game throwing the Nick Westbrook Akina and Anthony Ferkser. He had A.J. Brown and Julio Jones on Monday. Weird.
Yeah.
He had Derrick Henry when he lost to the fucking Jets. You're really not getting that?
Oh, yeah.
He had Derrick Henry against the Jets. He had no receivers. Guess what? You lost.
Yep.
He had the two of them against the Bills, and you won.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be so simplistic, but it really is that fucking simple. Honestly, it's that simple.
When people are afraid of the arm, nobody's afraid of the arm if he doesn't have weapons on the field.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And so the Jets just stacked the box. They went, we can put Bryce Hall one-on-one with Nick Westbrook Akina, and he's not going to do shit. And he didn't. You know you can't do that with? A.J. Brown.
Right.
Julio Jones.
Right.
And so you put all of these pieces together, and I look at Tennessee, and it's pretty good. They're pretty good.
But right now, if you had to win, I want to go back to this comment. Who was it that said he couldn't see a path to taking Kirk Cousins over Joe Burrow? Really?
There's no doubt in my mind. I agree with him 100%.
Joe Burrow has shown you to have that killer instinct at the end of a game, like Kirk Cousins
Joe Burrow is currently winning football games with what I think to be one of the 4 worst coaches I have ever seen. Behind a mediocre offensive line with a defense that doesn't easily get stops. And you should be 5-1. If you had a kicker that didn't just get liquored up the night before or whatever the hell happened to him, you'd be 5-1 with a win over the Packers.
All those things you just said, though, they also apply to Kirk Cousins, don't they?
No, they don't. Kirk Cousins has been as good as he could possibly be. His receivers have been as good as they could possibly be. He doesn't make anybody around him better. I like Kirk Cousins. Just to me, if I had to pick one, it would be Burrow and not Cousins.
I don't know. The last couple of games, he has shown that killer instinct that you need to make the late drives. What was that, two drives and within 45 seconds of the game ending in the last 2 weeks that he has put his team in a position to either tie the ball game, send it to overtime, or win. And to me, I put a lot of stock into that.
Kelvin Joyner said something that I want to say out loud because there's a merit to it. I just disagree with it slightly. Kirk Cousins is just Teddy Bridgewater that's been on better teams. He's not going to be the reason why you lose, but he's also not going to be the reason why you win. I agree with that until that last line you said of where he's not going to be the reason why you win. There are times that he can be. That's the difference between the two.
Yep.
The baseline of both is very similar. Very similar. The high side of Kirk Cousins is an elite level quarterback.
Right.
Problem is that he does that and his team still don't win. And whether I should hold that against a quarterback or not, I don't know.
I don't.
But I don't know that I've ever seen a quarterback that could be as good as Kirk Cousins has been. Statistically, analytically, and your team's still not good. I mean, I don't think your defense can be that bad. You have, what are they, third in the league, second in the league in sacks? You have a lot of things working for you, and you're what, 3-3? Are they 3-3?
I believe so. I believe they're 3-3.
I said it in my head a minute ago, and it didn't sound right. Then again, that could be the Taco Bell.
All right, have we thoroughly discussed this little quartet of quarterbacks?
Yeah, minus Derek Carr. He's the one that
Derek
kind of got screwed in this that we didn't talk about him as much.
Right.
Let's be real honest about where Derek Carr is. His receiving options are not that great.
No,
Darren Waller is.
Yeah, and you've used this example already with Derek Carr. If you put Derek Carr on the Minnesota Vikings, how much better is he as a quarterback, or how much better would he be viewed if he had Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen to throw to, as opposed to having Hunter
Renfrow and Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards.
Exactly.
Derek Carr is one of those quarterbacks that if you put him in Tampa Bay, I don't think they would take that much of a step back.
Okay.
He's
of a step back. Yeah.
It would still be a step back because you're replacing the greatest quarterback that's ever lived.
Right.
I'm just saying I think he's that level of quarterback.
Okay. He was a lot higher than I expected him to be. I had him at number 11.
That was one of the fun parts of this is I went, there is no way he's not in your top 11.
Right.
There's not a physical way he's not.
Right. He's number 11 for me. I had Kirk Cousins at number 10. And then at number 9.
Number 9 is
number 9 ahead of Ryan Tannehill.
Justin
on
Herbert.
Jeremy's list, Justin Herbert. That's exactly where I have him as well.
There's some of this that is, look, I just can't. I can't. I'll use the quarterback right in front of him. I can't put him ahead of Dak Prescott. I can't. This is not a shot at Justin Herbert. The top 10 quarterbacks in this league are the elite of the elite.
Yep.
And then you got that the 3 right behind it that I think can be elite, but there's some inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
After that, there's a drop off the world.
Yes.
With Herbert, there's just there is a steady. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for here is. I have a lot of tape on all these other quarterbacks where I don't have it with him.
Mm-hmm.
Could he be 5 by the end of this year? Yeah. Would it shock me? No. Could I also see him falling behind Ryan Tannehill or Derek Carr or Joe Burrow? Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I could. Go back and watch that Ravens tape again. And tell me you still feel warm and fuzzy about Justin Herbert, because there were a lot of throws in that where you're like, what in the fuck are you doing?
But that's actually the first time he's actually looked mortal to me.
No, it's not. It's 100% not.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of games last year where you look at it and go, whoa, what was that? But he's rookie. So you can forgive that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying Baltimore toyed with him. Baltimore took Justin Herbert like a cat with a mouse and just batted him back and forth. Like, we know exactly what you're getting ready to do.
Right.
And I am not an overreactionary person, but that's not the first time I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't put you above Dak or Aaron Rodgers or anybody like that.
Bingo. He was my number 9 as well. My number 8 is Dak Prescott.
As was mine.
Mm-hmm. Dak is just, he's, I'm not going to say he's just as good as last year, but he might be.
Rob Johnson said Dak's overrated and Herbert should be in front of him.
No, he's
I
not.
disagree with you.
No, he's not. Dak Prescott.
I don't understand the
overrated.
hate on Dak Prescott. I really don't get it.
I mean, I guess it's because people look at his weapons and go, "Oh, well, of course he's going to be good because he's got Amari Cooper,
Yeah,
and
was
he's
Andy
got
Dalton
CeeDee
good?
Lamb, and he's right."
Was Andy Dalton good with the same
No.
weapons?
No, he wasn't.
No.
No, but he didn't have the running game last year that he has.
Yeah,
now.
he did. He had the same. He had the exact same 2 running backs with the exact same offensive line.
He had the same 2 running backs, but they were not as effective last year.
But
as they are
why?
now.
That's the whole point. Because you're not scared of shit Andy Dalton can do.
Exactly.
You know Dak Prescott can hit you. That play at the end of the Patriots-Cowboys game is exactly what it is with Dak Prescott that I go, yeah. Tony Romo called out that play. Bill Belichick knew that play was coming. There was nothing you could do about it.
Yep.
Because when he play fakes it, you have to honor it. Because if you don't, and you get hat on a hat, Ezekiel Elliott or Tony, I don't remember which one was in the backfield, they could do the exact same thing the opposite way.
Yep.
So you have to honor it. Now it's 1-on-1 with CeeDee Lamb, and he makes a perfect throw. Off balance, sees it, hits it, done, ball game, go home.
Yep.
And that's Dak Prescott in a nutshell to me.
Dak Prescott makes big moves at the end of the game to put his team in a position to win. And I give him a lot of credit for that. The one thing that kind of held him back for me on this list was the turnovers. He's got 7 turnovers already on the season, and I get that they're still winning ball games. They've won 5 in a row, but a lot of that has to do with the big splash plays that they've been able to make on defense, and the running game has been really friggin' good. All of that taken into account, he's still the elite, one of the elites in the NFL.
100%.
Number 7.
Brother Aaron.
Aaron Rodgers.
And I'll be honest with you, I looked at this 100 times going, God, I want him to be higher. I don't know who you're supposed to put him in front of. This was like a survival of the. I almost played the top 7 of this like I was playing Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Just how in the hell can I put Aaron Rodgers above any of the other 6? Because some of those guys can win all on their lonesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Rodgers does have a Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And the age. And I'm nitpicking here because I think the difference between 1 and 7 is minuscule.
Indeed.
I do. I think it's minuscule.
I agree. I have him higher on my list just because of.
Who do you have him in front of that I've got him behind?
I have him in front of Dak Prescott. I've got him in front of
Dak Prescott.
Patrick Mahomes.
And that's stupid to me.
I've got him in front of Lamar Jackson, and I've got him in front of Matt Stafford.
Stafford, I could kind of understand. The only thing is Matt Stafford's hit a whole new level with weapons.
No doubt. No doubt
having him behind Pat Mahomes makes 0 sense to me.
Here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers, to me, has that killer instinct. He has the killer instinct that I think, what?
Pat Mahomes has been a starter in this league for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's made the Super Bowl 2 of them.
Yep.
How many times Aaron Rodgers made it to a Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm. Once.
There you go. It's the ultimate goal of this game. How in the hell do you have one behind the other? That doesn't make sense to me.
It's because of how he's playing right now.
I don't care how he's playing right now.
Okay, I do.
Yeah, so you're taking a 6-game sample size where the defense is brutal, and you're holding that against a guy that's been to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense to me.
I feel like it should. I feel like it's self-explanatory for a guy who's thrown 8 interceptions this year. It doesn't look like he is the number 1 quarterback in the league anymore. If you're taking a guy right now to win a game, I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers over him.
And I think you're out of your gourd.
That's fine.
How many quarterbacks in the NFL have more yards right now than Pat Mahomes?
3.
2. It's all of 2, and neither one of them have they all have the same problem. They can't run a greasy peg up a cat's ass.
Mm-hmm.
His defense puts him in terrible situations where he has to throw.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I don't. That argument makes no sense to me whatsoever. Oh, he's got 8 interceptions. Yeah, because he's all his team has.
Mm-hmm.
It's it. They have 3 offensive weapons, and you have to shoot out with people because your defense can't stop a nosebleed.
Mm-hmm.
And yet 3 years of him as a starter mean nothing?
No, of course it does. Of course it means something. But like I said, right now, if you ask me if I needed to win a game, who am I going to throw in there? I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
So you're going with a guy that's lost the big game 48 times because of one that keeps winning it has been bad in a handful of regular season games. Okay. It's your list. You can do it how you want to, but that is one of the dumbest rationales I think I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers has lost 6 NFC championship games. 6. And you're saying that's who I would take to win the big game over a guy that lost 1. Doesn't make any sense to me. He's won it more times in 3 years than Aaron's won it in 16. So, yeah, it's the hate on Pat Mahomes just makes no sense to me.
It's not hate.
That's 100% hate.
No, it's not.
It's 100%. Say this out loud.
Okay.
If we had done this before the season, so where do you actually have Pat Mahomes?
In all quarterbacks in the
league?
Yeah,
we're doing a power rankings. Where do you have him ranked? You have a list in front of you. For the love of God, just look at it. Where is Pat Mahomes on your list?
On my list? He's 7.
If you had said that before the season, how hard, if somebody had walked in here before week 1 of the season and said, I have Pat Mahomes as the 7th best quarterback in the NFL, how hard would we have laughed at them?
No doubt.
There you go. What that means is that you're over accentuating these first 6 games of the regular season. That doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense to me. And I'll be honest with you, this Pat Mahomes hate, which is exactly what that is, you keep doing it. I get Andy Reid, I get him, I'll be just fine. History says that I will do hunky dunky.
Sure. And by the end of the season, if he's playing like old Pat Mahomes, sure. 2021 Pat Mahomes is not one of the 5 best quarterbacks in this league.
Disagree.
And that's
I actually almost had him at 4, so you're going the opposite way. I'm just not an overreactionary person. I got slammed for having the Bills at 1 in my power rankings. They were they were my Super Bowl favorite before the season. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to do something above and beyond, or they're going to have to prove me wrong. Pat Mahomes was the best quarterback in the league coming into this year. Mm-hmm. I dinged him a little bit. That's it. That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I won't go more aggressive than that.
Patrick Mahomes is not playing better than Lamar Jackson right now. True or false?
If you had to win the AFC Championship game, would you rather have Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes? You know the answer to this. It's just a question if you want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's non-debatable. Mm-hmm. One has one playoff win. The other has a slew.
Mm-hmm.
That all plays into this.
Okay.
I feel like you're really zooming in on 1 3-week period in the regular season.
Yep, I am.
I don't do that.
Okay. So. That's fine. That's fine. Lamar Jackson, is he your 6?
He is. Lamar Jackson is my 6. I believe we've seen the best of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to bolt. He said, I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm wrong about. You'd have to elaborate. If you're saying I'm wrong about Pat Mahomes, I have two-time reigning defending AFC champion.
Mm-hmm.
Till somebody knocks me off of that doesn't make me wrong. I mean, I'll happily listen to your argument. I just would like to know what your argument is.
Mm-hmm.
But Lamar Jackson, in terms of how many quarterbacks would I take above him right now? Not a lot. Do I think what he's currently doing plays in the playoffs? Not really.
Okay.
I'm going to have to see you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched you go into the playoffs and get your go back to Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched Lamar Jackson.
But what was your big knock on Lamar Jackson, on why this won't work in the playoffs? He's running the ball too much. That was your big bugaboo last year.
No, my big bugaboo was you can't throw it 35 times in December. You can't. It's just not who he is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to do it, more power to you. It's going to end the same way it's ended every time you tried to do it before.
Well, he's doing it now, and he's only lost 1 game.
In the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a problem with Lamar Jackson in the regular season. I want to see you win in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. But I think
had
that's
Chief
what they're
David
leading to.
Chief David Zack asked me this, and this was Sunday, I suppose. We were talking about quarterback rankings all time, and he said that Dan Marino can't be considered one of the greats of all time because he didn't win a Super Bowl. Okay, that's going way too far to the other side.
Agreed.
But then you get into somebody like Lamar Jackson that just time and time again gets into the playoffs and gets beat. Why? Why does that happen? I mean, I don't have a great answer for that.
Okay.
I have what I think my answer is for that, is that you get into these shootouts.
And you just can't hang?
It's time to bolt. Said it's this year. But you got to understand, I'm not just talking about this year.
Mm-hmm.
I do rankings like this the same way I do. You tie everything we do back in the same way. Power rankings. If you played who would I take?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing I'm doing with quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
The only quarterback I would take over Josh Allen right now would be Tom Brady. That's it. And if you're telling me you would take Aaron Rodgers and the Packers against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, more power to you. I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. Not a snowball's chance in hell would I. Am I going to write off Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid? It's not going to do it.
Okay. And that's fine. It's your prerogative. It's your rankings. We can agree to disagree. There are people that agree with me. There are people that agree with you, and that's completely fine.
I'm not saying there's not.
Right. Anyhow, Lamar Jackson, of course, he's always going to be the leading rusher in the NFL just because he's got that freak ability. I do find it, hilarious that now he's throwing the ball more.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still the 7th best rusher in the NFL overall.
Mm-hmm. I have no qualms with Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
None.
No,
but I think up until last week, I had a qualm with how often he was throwing.
Right, but I think this is what they're building to. The big knock on him was you're running the ball too much. You don't have the arm. Well, guess what? Now the Baltimore Ravens have said, "Oh, he doesn't have the arm. Here you go." Now he's throwing it 40 times a game. He's still very efficient running the ball. And he's showing that he is very efficient throwing the ball as well. He's putting the doubters to rest.
Him throwing 40 times a game is non-sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will ever I'll have to see you do it that way for me to believe it.
Yep.
Because that's been the problem. He gets into it, just like Buffalo. I was headed down a path with Kansas City. That was the year before.
Yeah.
Last year, they played Buffalo in the playoffs. They get behind. Now I know Lamar Jackson has to throw. How well did that go?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's the reason Lamar's 6 and Josh Allen is 2.
Okay. At number 5, the top 5 of the 2021 NFL Power Rankings in Week 6, you got Patrick Mahomes at 5.
That was, and we've talked plenty about Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. This is where I had Matthew Stafford. Who's your 4?
And I look at there's some career achievement here that you've been this good with that bad of weapons, and I've never really seen him in the playoffs with a shot.
He's got one now.
He's got one now,
and he is the number 1 quarterback in QBR right now in football. He's got a QBR of 75. And now he's thrown 16 touchdowns to his 4 interceptions. He is everything the Los Angeles Chargers wanted him to be. Everything that they thought he could be when they made this trade with Jared Goff.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You said Chargers.
Oh, fuck. Everybody.
I don't want 2 teams to be in the same city anymore. I'm very over it.
Everybody knew what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the LA Rams, this is why they made the deal. Because they knew Matt Stafford has that edge. He has that, dare I say, killer instinct again to be able to win games. And he is a marked improvement over Jared Goff.
Oh.
What?
Let me ask you a question. This keeps happening in the comments, so I have to ask.
Okay.
Where is Pat Mahomes in QBR in 2021?
God, like 7?
Oh, he's like 7, right? Sure. 7, 9,
like
or 2. How about he's 2?
He's 2?
He's fucking 2. He's behind Matthew Stafford, and that's it. It's just comical to me.
Right.
Like, good God Almighty. Do you realize how bad that defense is?
Mm-hmm.
They have one shot to win. They can't run to save their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They have 2 receivers on this entire team. Oh, Pat Mahomes sucks. Oh, fuck. There went the bell.
Destroying the Kevin Vick Memorial Bell and everything.
QBR, number 2. Time to Bowl asked, where would I have him in terms of this year? 5. That's where I'd have him.
Yep.
5. If he had, now here's how I would answer that question. All right, if you switch Tom Brady with Pat Mahomes, and you gave Pat that defense and Tom Mahomes defense, do you not think their records would look very similar?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go with yes.
You think you put Tom Brady on the Kansas City Chiefs? You think they would still be?
Tom's been in the league 21 years. How many times through 6 games has he ever had a defense that any 6 games, any 6 contiguous games, has he ever had a defense that's given up this many yards? It's never happened. It's never actually been close.
Okay.
He's never had a defense through 6 games that was within 60 yards of this defense of what it gave up a week.
Yeah. Not even now?
Mm-mm. Do you realize how bad that Kansas City defense is?
I mean, they're pretty bad. I think I had heard Dan Orlovsky say it might have been 2 weeks ago, so that this might be different. But every week
that stat might have been before this year. I haven't checked this year. I just heard it.
Right. The Kansas City Chiefs defense this year is giving up more yards than the greatest show on turf put up a game. The greatest offense in NFL history as far as racking up yardage. The Kansas City Chiefs defense gives up more than that every week. It's bad. We understand.
Oh no, you're still far and away. By the way, as bad as your defense has been, you're still 90 yards a game behind Kansas City.
Really?
335 to 410.
Oh, that's got to be the rushing stats. That's got to be the rushing yards. Where are they in pass yards?
That's combined.
Compared to each other.
That was total defense.
No, that's what I'm saying.
The rushing brings it down because you're averaging and allowing 54 yards rushing a game.
That's what I'm saying. The Chiefs are not good against the run and the pass. At least Tampa is good against the run.
You're 85 yards better a game than them.
In pass defense?
And against the rush.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Against the pass, you're right on top of each other. They gave up 277.5, you give up 280.5.
There you go. I don't know. People act like we're burying Patrick Mahomes. I'm not burying Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying he's not playing up to his usual standard this year. Overall, I took that into account. Now, if you take in talent rankings, he's still number one to me.
Yeah.
Talent rankings, he's still number one. To me, this is through week 6. Patrick Mahomes gets knocked for the performance that he's had so far this year and all of the turnovers.
This is what happens to players that have a lot of success early.
Right.
The first show of any weakness. See, I told you. Okay. You bet against him. Mm-hmm. Take your own money. Go to betus.com and bet against Pat Mahomes every week for the rest of the year. See how it works out for you.
Not going to do it.
That's all I'm trying to say. You're entitled to your opinion. You can believe anything you want to.
I wouldn't
a lot of people believe the earth is flat and the birds are real, but that doesn't make it true.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not hatred. I love Patrick Mahomes. He's just not playing well this year so far. And it's going to turn around.
Second best quarterback in the league. By QBR. It's second best quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
It's the greatest metric we have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying it's infallible. I'm just saying is it the one metric that we have that we go, yeah, we're good with that.
It's also a stat that not a lot of people really understand. I mean, I don't even really understand it, and you've explained it to me how many times? How many times in the 4 years that we've been doing this together have I looked at you and said, can you explain that QBR thing to me again? It's at least been a dozen. And I still don't really get it. And people look at the stats and they go, okay, Patrick Mahomes is number one in touchdowns. Great. He's thrown 18 touchdown passes this year. He's also thrown 8 interceptions. He's one off of Zack Wilson. And people think that skews the number so much that there's no way he can be that efficient. There's no way he could be graded that highly with that many turnovers. I think that's
Time
where the
to Bolt said
comes
take
in.
a vote on here of Mahomes at 5.
Mm-hmm.
If you have him lower than that, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with you vehemently. But here's what I will take a vote on. They're 3-3.
Yeah.
They play 17 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'll set the over-under of games they win at 10.5.
Over.
There you go. There you go. And what does this team do well? What do they do well? They can't run to save their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But you would still bet your money, whether you would tell us you will or not, that's totally up to you. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You would still bet your money they're going to win more than 10.5 games.
No doubt.
Why? They do one thing well.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes.
They do one thing well. Nothing else.
Right. They Patrick Mahomes better than anybody in the league.
And they've done it 2 years in a row. This would be the third.
Right.
If they made it to the Super Bowl, this would be the third year in a row they've made it to the Super Bowl doing one thing well.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to undervalue that, more power to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really I'm going to level. I don't really give a rat's ass what a quarterback does in an October regular season game. I just don't care.
Yep.
By that metric, Baker Mayfield's a top 10 quarterback in the league. Because you know who's really good usually in October? Baker.
Yeah.
You know what and you know what he is in January? At home with Baker Mayfield. I had to take the opportunity to take the shot at Baker Mayfield.
At home with himself. All right, so Patrick Mahomes was number 4?
5.
Number 5.
Stafford was 4.
Stafford is 4.
Kyler Murray's 3.
Kyler Murray's number 3. There's no doubt. We are in lockstep with the top 3.
Mm-hmm. Kyler Murray is from another planet because he's 4'7". He can't see over the line, which does become a problem sometimes. Cliff Kingsbury just schemes around it. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
And the weapons are so good. That team is ridiculously good, and Kyler Murray is ridiculously good.
Mm-hmm. The thing that we haven't seen out of him this year is the efficiency running the ball. But as far as everything else goes, he's the top of the league.
Yeah, because they don't care.
Right. He's number 3 in QBR. He's up there in passing yardage. He's got a 14-4 touchdown to interception ratio. It's just unbelievable.
It's time to bolt, brother. If you're trying to throw quarterback rating at me, that rating has been invalidated. That's the reason we developed QBR. Because quarterback rating is the most asinine shit in the world.
Oh, passer rating?
Yeah, because it only takes how you throw. Mm-hmm. There is nothing else that goes into that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a rate. Hell, half these damn sites don't even put quarterback rating on their listing anymore. I have to acknowledge it because we work for ESPN and they do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's dumb.
Ronnie George says Kyler Murray's going to be at the social Friday night. What's that all about?
He'll be in the ring doing Micromania.
Oh, the little man wrestling.
Yeah, I need the Taco Bell to process through me so I can be present and accounted for that.
They're doing that at the social?
Yeah.
Are they setting the ring up out in the parking lot?
I don't know. You'll have to ask somebody other than me because I
Or
got
are
a
they
damn
going to be
clue.
wrestling in a kiddie pool full of pudding?
Beats the hell out of me. All right, we got 2 quarterbacks left, and if I'm in here for about 5 more minutes, I'm going to burst into flames.
Yeah. Top 2 quarterbacks in the league. Number 2 is Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills.
And I wanted to have him 1, but I can't.
You can't.
I can't.
You can't.
And it pisses me off that I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen is fantastic. I don't put any stock into but he lost to the Titans. I don't care. It was on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you put the loss on Josh Allen? No. I don't.
You got to put the loss.
And I'll be honest with you, if I had a vote right now for MVP, it'd be Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray
so.
would be 2. Kyler Murray would be 2, and I would say Lamar Jackson probably be 3. That's how my MVP ballot would look right now.
Yeah, Tom Brady would be on my MVP ballot, but, that's just...
Of course he would.
Of course he would.
Of course he would.
End of the game, who do you want? I want Tom Brady. He's the greatest closer in the history of the NFL.
I don't disagree,
Right.
but he can't be the MVP every year. There's a reason he hasn't won one in forever.
Oh, I understand it. MVP ballot every year in the NBA. LeBron's on it. For me.
The NBA is markedly different.
I
than
get
the
it's
NFL.
I get it's markedly different, but I think the analogy is the same. He's always going to be the best player in the league.
Rob Johnson said the Cardinals should be number 1 in power rankings. I swear to God, I hear that in my sleep at this point. If the Bills play the Cardinals right now, you have to bet your money on it on a neutral field. Who you taking?
Taking the Cardinals.
I know how the Bills are going to stop DeAndre Hopkins with Tre'Davious White.
Mm-hmm.
How are the Cardinals going to stop Stephon Diggs? That's what I couldn't get
Byron
past.
Murphy.
I said, stop.
I just wanted to see your reaction when I said
Stop.
it.
Byron Murphy, stop. And I even like Byron Murphy.
Right.
But that's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
I do love how bent out of shape people get about rankings.
Of course.
Like, I'm not if I have somebody at 2, I'm not talking about Rob Johnson here at all.
Right.
Just in general. I've gotten a ton of feedback from the power rankings yesterday. You're stupid. You still have the Bills 1. And then I ask the same question every time. Mm-hmm. Who would you bet your hard-earned U.S. American dollars on to beat the Bills? Well, I'd take the Cardinals. Okay, let's do it for $100 to charity right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then mysteriously,
No, we're okay.
they just fade off into the ether.
It's because we're all cheap. Deep down inside, we're all cheap.
I'm not.
Oh, I know you're not.
JT Money said, do we get a second stream today of the radio show? That is our objective. It will be to, I don't know exactly how we're going to do it yet.
I would do it to subscribers only while we're still working on the
I ain't figured
bugs.
out how to do that yet, but
Yep.
there is a way. I
Okay.
know there is a way. We're going to try to do it today. And there's not people here at 3 o'clock the way there are right now.
Right.
So we can have the door open. We can be in and out. We can do stuff.
Right.
So the hope is, yes, we'll have a second stream today.
Okay. So number 1, Tom Brady. Number 2, Josh Allen. The quarterback power rankings is always a fun exercise to do the power rankings, and they generate a whole lot of interaction. And that's
I'm
what
good
we
with
love.
that. Look, I'll be honest with you. Short of you telling me Baker Mayfield was a top 10 quarterback, so long as you're in the same ballpark, I'm not going to vehemently disagree with you.
Right.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
I will say this. I watch more tape than probably anybody I know. And the hate on Pat Mahomes is comical to me.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, that was the point of this exercise. The top 10 quarterbacks in this league are fucking special.
Yep.
There are about 4 more that are momentarily special.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Joe Burrow and Derek Carr could be long-term special. And then you hit about 14 and you just go, sweet God, the rest of this league doesn't have a snowball's chance in Atlanta.
Right.
Because you get to Carson Wentz and Jimmy Garoppolo really quick. That was the whole point of this exercise.
Yep.
I think it worked out quite nicely
It
for
did.
that. And now I'm going to burst into flames.
Yep. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. It is the Sportsocracy. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can hopefully get the second stream this afternoon with the radio show, Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, of course, live every weekday afternoon at 3 o'clock, 3 to 5 on ESPN Asheville. You can hear it on the iHeartRadio app and coming soon to the YouTube channel. It will be here.
He's Tank Spencer, and I'm sweating like a whore in church. So we must go away now.
Indeed.
Let me go dunk my head in the refrigerator.
Again, follow, like, and share, subscribe, all those good things. We appreciate everybody being with us here in the Wicked Weed studio for the Sportsocracy. We'll see you again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.